The Matt Luke effect. What do I mean by this? I mean bringing in someone who not only has experience, but they have fantastic experience. And they know what they're doing. Bringing them in and immediately seeing changes right off the bat. I'm going to get into this and more. By the way, this is going to be an extremely short video because I'm on a time crunch, but I had to do this video today. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I'm Brian. I'm glad you're here. If you've subscribed, hey, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed or you're new here, welcome. I hope you subscribe. It is free, and it's the easiest way to support the channel. Now, I believe it was yesterday that Matt Luke met with the media, and he was asked, hey, why did you come to Clemson? He talked about the good things. I don't like saying the culture because that's kind of taken a turn on me. To me, it's been used as a crutch, but hey, it brought him in. He said it was a no-brainer. That was the line that a lot of people are talking about. But this morning, Parker Henderson sent me this link, and it said that 2 new offensive line targets are now involved with Matt Luke. Matt Luke is talking to these new targets. One is highly recruited, but he's committed to another Power 5 program who just lost their coach. And another is in the transfer portal and is a former 4-star that Luke was involved with when he was coaching at Georgia. Okay, you pause there and you go, Brian, what does this have to do? We're just talking about prospects here. First of all, I want to tell you this. I want to go back to the interview. I'm speeding through this so fast that I'm starting to lose my thought. Y'all, please forgive me. If you're new here, normally I don't do this poorly, but I just wanted to do this video in this short amount of time that I have. But I don't listen to a lot of these coaching press conferences. I really don't. And as Clemson has kind of backslid over the past 3 years, at least 3 seasons, I can't stomach it. I sit there and I listen to a bunch of excuses. I listen to a bunch of finger pointing at the fans. If you're listening to one of the high school coaches that Sweeney's hired on his offense, you're hearing a bunch of Sweeney talking points. Listening to Matt Luke, I wanted to listen to it, just a little bit of it, and I listened to the whole thing. I think I listened to the whole thing. It sounded like someone who had fantastic experience. It sounded like someone who had been there, done that at a high level, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who is actually passionate about college football. It sounds like someone who stands a great chance. Remember, anybody can fail. You can make a great hire and it just doesn't work out. But you can't run from incredible hires while running to first-year coaches. Hiring in inexperienced guys, filling your offensive staff with inexperience. And listening to Matt Luke talk, I was just sitting there going, hook, line, and sinker, man, you got me. You got me. I'm believing. And then I sit here and I read from an article that was sent to me that big recruits are actually talking to the guy. See, this is what other people needs to understand, is that when you bring in coaches who know what they're doing, it impacts your targets. He talked about being in this general area to where he has an actual recruiting prowess. That's a big deal. And for some of you who really don't know the geographic location of Athens, Georgia, where he was last coaching, and then he took off a couple of years himself, you're only about an hour and a half from Clemson. So the same recruiting ground, the same area, it's all the same. That's why when people looked at Auburn and said, why are you hiring Brian Harsin? I mean, this guy's up in Idaho. You're bringing him down here to SEC country. And Auburn fans and Auburn, well, a lot of Auburn fans were not happy, but the athletic department was just sitting there making up excuses. And guess what happened? It failed. Making a hire like this is a big deal. Just listening to him talk sounded like someone who had been there and done that. So when I've been ticked off and ranting and raving, and some of you are telling me, Brian, you're making this sound way too easy, that Swinney could actually go out and hire someone who knows what they're doing. Brian, you know what? You've never coached or you've never played at this level. So therefore, your opinion doesn't count. Folks, I told you so. I told you so. Hiring someone who knows what they're doing with reputable experience, guess what? This is what happens. You cannot fill your coaching staff with a bunch of first-timers. Maybe one, and everybody else can gather around them and raise them up right. But man, when you don't have a bunch of experience in those coaching meetings, the past 3 years especially, is what you get. 8-4, 4-4 in the middle of the season. That's what you get. Because there's no real leadership, because no one's had to be in leadership before at this level. And so, folks, I am excited to see where this goes. Once again, Matt Luke could come to Clemson and totally fail. He could totally wet the bed. But I don't think he is. And I will say this. I'm glad that Swinney hired him. I'm glad that he made the hire with Garrett Riley. But Clemson fans, I want you to hear me say this. I'm glad he's doing these things. But had he not hired a bunch of first-year guys with this experiment that he is learning very quickly that it is not working, and he would have stuck with guys like Matt Luke, and Garrett Riley is young, but he's had the experience. Going out and getting someone with experience, I don't think Clemson would have seen some of the, especially this year, we wouldn't have seen some of the craziness that we saw go on. And if you're like, well, Brian, how do you know that? It's just like troubleshooting a problem. What happened before the problem? What happened when the problem occurred? Did anything change? If it was a personnel problem, did someone leave? If it's on an engine, did you hit a bump in the road? Did you not change the oil? Folks, I could keep giving these analogies, but some people, I can't explain it to them. They just, some people are just too stubborn. They don't want to admit it. But making more good hires like this, and you'll see a complete Clemson offense. Just mark this date. I don't believe that this will be the last person who is fired on this staff. It just won't happen this season. It'll probably happen at the end of next season. So anyway, I'm very happy to have Matt Luke here. He's impacting the team. He's passionate, but not only passionate, he has good experience. So welcome to the Clemson Nation, and I hopefully everything is starting to turn and head in the right direction. You take care of yourself. Hope you subscribe. If you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, there's a join button below. I'll catch you later. As always, go Tigers.